It's time once again to go racing.
It does not get any better than this.
The pressure is really on now.
Yes, it's pole position. Lights out and we're racing in PSGL.
The first lap has been absolute chaos.
What an overtake.
Oh no!
I've never seen anything like it.
Side by side again. This will be settled right at the end.
Hello everybody and welcome to round 4 for PSGL PC Formula 4, and we are here at Le Castellet in France as well. Apologies for not being live last week, but the entire race was recorded and we're currently in the process of getting out to you in a highlight package at some point in the next couple of days as well. But alongside me back in the commentary box is Psycho once again, and how have you been doing in the past couple of weeks? It's been a crazy couple in the world of F1. What's it been like in yours?
Yeah, it's been crazy with F1, especially all the livery reveals are going out, as well as PSGL Monaco. The F1 tiers, all the other tiers were bringing us a lot of action for us to watch. We're back for some more racing at France. Back in mind, just finished exams. Everyone's taking a chill. It's almost holiday, so excited to see for some more action to come.
That sounds good. I hope all the exams are good as well and everything's going ASAP and cool, because, yeah, it is nearly time for the holidays, and even I've got a couple of days off before the madness of all of F1 testing starts as well. If you want to take a look at the calendar from where we are so far, so we're 3 races down. Portugal, Great Britain and Monaco all completed. The French Grand Prix here across the PC and the PlayStation leagues as well. Then we follow on over to the Hungaroring. Austria as well and Saudi Arabia take up the first 7 races, and then on the second half, when the F1 season kicks off, we go off to Belgium, the Netherlands. Brazil is always a fascinating race in PSGL. Mexico, another tight, twisty circuit as well at high altitude that, yes, it even does affect the game cars as well. Singapore, tight, twisty street circuit. Will we see more drama like we did at Monaco? Moving on as well, we then go off to America. Then Italy at the Imola circuit as well. I think one of the second time we've raced there. Follow on then to Bahrain at the end of the year for round 15 of the season. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, it's 3 different winners from the opening 3 different races. Bogdan Moldovan took victory in round 1. Round 2 went to Duzvan as well. And round 3, I know you didn't see it, but Napadavinsky, who did a fantastic overtake, got the fastest lap and won the race as well, commanding victories on his part. He moving up the order. Canal also seems to have been jumping up there in P5, but the top in the standings, it's not that bad, is it? Moldovan still leads the way by just 3 points to Duzvan. ET8 Danny's coming in there, Napadavinsky, Mateus Canal as well, all getting very, very exciting as we go forward. Let's take a look at the circuit then. We'll be racing at here today, Le Castellet in France, a 3.36 mile circuit as well. Fantastic, 15 corners. Yes, sometimes it's great racing, sometimes, sadly, it's not great racing. But one thing's for sure, qualifying is about to get underway, and that will be entertaining because
We have a wet race.
Indeed, and that has just put everybody going fantastic, Psycho. Wet race, wet quali. Get in. What's going to be your strategy calls then?
Well, it's going to be a full wet, so it depends on what we'll see on the actual race. If there's any dry, if it's going to be a dry or wet. But the strategy here, if it is going to be a dry race, it's definitely a soft to medium track. Tire degradation is not that high as there's a lot of straights, a lot of turns. Not a lot of turns, sorry, but there is a lot of straights to help cool down the tires. So with full wets, we have one driver, which is Jan Topkov, with intermediates actually. So maybe he wants to just see how is it going around with those intermediates. But it looks like it is full wet condition. I do see puddles forming around there a little bit, but yeah, strategy is definitely going to be a tight one, since these drivers can definitely qualify or use mediums if it's going to be a dry race.
I definitely say that as well. If it is going to be a dry race, I completely agree. We'll be switching over to the mediums. Interesting that Tripkov's gone for the inters at the moment in the pit lane. It's not looking that great out there as well. There's a lot of standing water down the Mistral Strait. But talking about drivers who are here and are not here, you might notice as well, actually, ETA Danny is in there, but he said he wouldn't be racing here tonight. So he was down as a red, which means there is no replacement for him. But we're missing a driver, and I'll do my best to see who is not in the lobby. But we know that Bibix is not racing. He's been replaced by Royal Rays as well, as you can see. And Simmax is not racing. He's been replaced by FedEx. And he's down at the moment in 18th position down in the Alpha Tauris. At the top of the front, though, two Mercedes looking okay. But I think it's still, Mateus Canal is still in the garage as well. He's just leaving the pit lane, but he's still in the lobby. So we'll track down who that 20th driver is that isn't in this lobby. But I just had to point out the rules and regulations. The Discord chat gets sent every week that to joining and rejoining the lobby during qualifying is not allowed, as it will cause lobby issues such as desync. And if a driver has been disconnected from the session, a new lobby will be set up once qualifying has been completed. But if a driver is late, there will be no restart as well. So if now we can see 20 cars in there, so whoever's joined, looks like they're breaking the lobby already, Psycho.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't quite see who joined in, but I believe it might be a Haas driver. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But still, we're going on for the first lap of the qualifying session. We have the Ferrari of Napdovsky. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. But we're going for this car right here. Full wets. It's definitely a high setup. You definitely want to run your rings on the highest amount of possible. So maybe some drivers are gambling and putting their wings a little bit down so they can get better corner speed. But putting their high wings is better for the straights. It gets you a lot of overtakes. Or ERS usage won't be that high, as the rain does help you out a little bit. But still, following Nabdovsky, looks like he's keeping it nice and tidy. It is pretty easy to invalidate, especially in these tricky conditions. But we haven't seen much action gone in the past. We haven't seen much invalidation from this tier. So you know, these drivers can definitely keep it clean and in the track. But we'll see if the rain is gonna let up. If the rain is gonna let up, it's definitely gonna bring in some interesting lap times here. But for now, it looks like it's gonna be a full wet condition. Nabowski is rounding up the final corners of the France track. A Paul Ricard track is it's a unique circuit, you can say that. It's has a lot of combinations you can use for different track layouts, and it can bring us a lot of action, like you saw in the real life F1, where we saw Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton battle out each other for those points. Let's see, first lap of the session, it is going to be a 1:42.5.
That's a stellar lap time then, and we'll see how it compares to the rest of them. You was mentioning about invalidating lap times. Watch out for the track limits around here. Turns 5, 6, 9, 12 and 15. So that's the ones we're going to be looking out for as well. Turn 15 is that last corner. Here comes Bogdan Moldovan, goes top, 142.4, so he's a tenth of a second faster than Napa Davinsky at the moment. Interesting to note out as well that the Ferraris and the Alfa Romeos are battling the Constructors' Championship, only 2 points between them. Ferrari lead the way on 36, Alfa Romeo only have 34, so watch out for them. Raven as well, who was in the Alfa Romeo last week, starting on pole position at Monaco, lost the lead with a bad pit stop. And also then, Napa Davinsky got back ahead on the second phase of the race and went on to take the victory. A reminder, you can watch highlights in the coming days of that race from Monaco, as Mateus Canali does a 1:42.234, and they are sliding out there, even on the full wet tyres. It's a very tricky qualifying. Tripkov done a 1:47, so the Inter's definitely not the right tyre.
Definitely not the right tire yet. I don't know if this rain is going to let up. It's still falling down pretty heavy. It's going to definitely take some time if the track is going to get if the track is going to evolve so the Inters can be a reliable option. But it looks like the gaps for these two tire compounds is not reliable just yet. We have Dave's Rumbus finishing out this lap. He is going around sector 3. Easy. I can tell. Definitely tell. I saw a lot of invalidations coming off of turn 1. As well as turn 6. Those turns are definitely ones to look at, because you can easily just go over a line and they'll invalidate your lap and you have to go all over again. Especially since it's turn 1, you're gonna definitely lose a lot of time if you do one simple mistake in the beginning. So here we are. We have Days Rubus finishing out his lap. Make sure you get a lot, and he's going back in the pits. Yeah, it looks like he didn't gain much time on that lap, unfortunately. But
Peso gone fastest, I think you were about to say.
Yeah.
I'll let you say it.
yeah, there Peso gets provisional pole position with that 141.5.
That's a great lap time. So he's 0.7 of a second faster than Mateusz Canali at the moment. Bogdan Moldovan still off there as well. One of the AlphaTauris switching out right as well. Ra is just coming through there in the Haas at the moment. So I think that is actually, he's replacing, that would be Raul Reyes as well, who's the replacement for B-Bix at the moment. He's invalidated his lap time. 11 cars have set their fastest, 9 still waiting out there to do so. We're watching Yar Santiago, now Zelenkiewicz as well, just coming down the second half of the Mistral Straight as well, towards the Sainz corner as well, flat out usually as well, but in the wet they're dropping down to about 7th gear. Yellow first sector, that looks like it's one of the Alpines just getting out of the way. Peso top, Williams second, so Duzvan gets up there with a 141.887. And if anybody's in the chat, let me know if I'm saying Duzvan correctly. I got in trouble with that back at Silverstone, but the wonderful fans here at PSGL taught me the correct way to say it. Canali's moved up to 3rd, and he's putting on Inters, it looks like, Psycho.
Yeah, it looks like maybe more drivers want to gamble it. I don't see the rain is not falling down as heavy as we saw before, but we'll see what the gaps are. Ferrari driver Zelenkiewicz is putting himself into P5 actually. It's good lap for him. He's right next to his teammate, almost right next to his teammate. So hopefully these drivers can bring home some good points, making it into the qualifying session. But we're now going into the second stage. Danny Coe is actually switching to intermediates as well. So we see the trend of drivers putting in the intermediate tires. Maybe they are going a little bit faster. We have to see with the gaps. It'll be interesting to see what kind of lap times these drivers will pull. But
this can't be an outlap for Mateusz. It must be a full lap. I think it must have glitched, because he would have, if he crossed the pit lane exit line, he would have got a penalty, and he was coming way past that before turn 1. So not sure if this is an outlap or not, but we'll keep an eye on it. It looks like the intermediate tyres are doing okay. He's not really pushing that much. There's a yellow in that 3rd sector, one of the Haas cars. I think it's the AM, as Raul's in the pits. The AM back out there. There's that yellow all over. It's flashing up everywhere you look. 9 minutes to go. Peso top then at the moment after missing last weekend in Monaco. He's on a 141.582. Look at also lots of drivers now switching to the intermediates. So I think this is now going to be watching for the remainder. The race later though, that's going to be something else. Short qualifying, only 18 minutes, so it's really a straight shootout, not like in the PCF1 League where we do the full sessions. And the rain, even though it was letting up, looks like it's coming back down a little bit harder. You've got a clearer screen than me though, Psycho. Can you see anything different?
yeah, the rain is still there, but it's not that heavy. I feel like it is almost intermediate. I saw Jan Trubkov actually gaining 2/10 on his lap time. He is 3 laps old with those intermediates actually, so the tires are definitely being worn out. But we know that intermediates tire wear is not that high. You see, you just went a bit too wide there going to corner. Didn't invalidate, but stewards might have a look into that. We'll have to see.
Big five for the Williams coming out of turn 13, so it's still treacherous offline. Of course, racing with no assists either, so these guys have got to hold the car to the line. This is the 4th tier of the PC League, for one of the top gaming leagues in the world for Formula 1. And coming up soon, of course, you might have seen the announcement with Gran Turismo as well, coming back to PSGL, which I think is going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to keep a watch on that as well. As look at that, intermediate time is now the fastest, 141.360. So what's that? 0.2 faster to 0.2, so that's 0.210 faster.
Yeah, so there you go. The intermediates are definitely faster. And it's interesting to note that Jan Trubkov set the fastest lap with old intermediate tires. They are 3 laps old, technically going over to 4 laps old. So looks like it's definitely intermediate time for these drivers.
The two McLarens, though, I think we're sticking with the They were sticking with the wet tyres, but Kevin has changed over now to Inters and has left the pit lane. That's good. FaZe has just come back in as well. We're riding with Mateus Canali as well as he comes through the back half of turn 11. 12 as well. Big oversteer, and he's gone over the line, over the part where the track limit was already being monitored. And that's put his lap time out. Peso, I think, coming round just after sector 1 now, and he's 4/10 up and gone purple. It's the two Red Bulls fighting for pole position here in France.
4/10 up this last time. If he can just keep it in, he's definitely going to get a very good lap time. You can just see the track is evolving. So the strategy might be, these drivers definitely have to take note of the time. They want to come out at the last second to put in that sweet time. They want that track evolution. So coming out in the perfect time is what these drivers need to strategize a bit. But Peso is on for a very good lap now.
Round the science corner as well. Is he flat? I think, yes, he was. Didn't lift that much, did he? So the rev counter not showing it, but the fantastic green bar showing the accelerator did as well. He's pushing like absolute crazy out there. Tripkov's coming to the pit lane. That might be just a change over. Bushy Ants goes fastest on 1:46.58. Danny fastest for ETA as well in the Alpine. 1:39.861. Times are dropping, times improving. Track conditions improving as well with those intermediates as well as a yellow at the Mistral chicane. It's all gone now as we see Peso to the line. Does he improve any faster? It's a 1:39.362, and that is a stellar time. 4/10 faster. Brilliant.
4/10 faster than the P2. Wow, what a lap. We already saw from sector 1 this was going to be a blistering lap, and this just shows. Peso puts himself into provisional pole, and we can just see the times are getting faster and faster. It's definitely intermediates right now. We only have one driver, which is Bugger Off. He is on full wets, so hopefully he can come back into the pits and change it off soon. We're here with Iana Dovzan. He is rounding up his final lap. I think he was looking good for a sector 2 time at least. So let's see what lap time he will set. Will he put himself into the top 5? And he puts himself into P1 with a 39.001. Only 1 millisecond off for a 38. But there you go. Track time. The track evolution is getting crazy out there. He's just evolving.
Canales jumped up into second place as well. 1:39.217. Peso did go faster. That changed over as well. Moldovan to fourth. Danny's gone into fifth. Kevin jumped up into sixth place as well in the McLaren. Rhombus P7. Bushians P8. Tripkov ninth. Was the fastest in the session. Comes back out on the track after spending 2 minutes in the pit lane. Dropped down to P9 as well. The replacement for VBix at Haas for Raul Reyes as well. Up into P10. It's changing every time as well. Last driver across the line will surely get the fastest time as Duzvan goes fast. No, we've already said that. Who am I watching has changed. The AM, that's it, P4. The AM in the Haas moves up into fourth on 1:39.411. The timing screen lighting up quicker than we can say it changes as Peso does improve again. 1:38.618. He's just taken another 4/10 up the time of Duzvan as well. It's changing brilliantly as Moldovan coming to the last corners, Peso.
Yeah, it looks like Moldovan is still going. He's going for a blistering lap right now. I just saw he got purple sector 1 and purple sector 2. So yellow flag in sector 2. That's Alpine and McLaren, I believe. But let's see what he can do. Moldovan going to the last corner. What lap time will he set? He was looking really good for him. It's going to be a pretty good time. What will it be? It's P3 for 39.0. Not pole, but it's definitely a very good position for France.
Could get another lap time, 3 minutes to go. Car still coming out of the pit lane. The AM was caught up with something down at the Mistral chicane. This comes down towards the science corner. Conali's coming to the pit lane from P4. That's interesting to see. Tripkov's still out on the out lap, and I think he's circulating somewhere. Oh, and that's the AM losing a lap time as we look. Today's Rhombus, yellow out the first and third sector. It's all getting a bit tetchy now because I think we're going to have 18 of the 20 cars out there and all fighting for position on the track. This is a crazy qualifying, and they do like to throw in wet sessions here at PSGL. As FaZe moves up to P11, that pushes Red Tox down to 12th as well, making his first appearance in a long time in the series as well as Red Tox. Back in with us again, I think for the first time since Portugal.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of drivers are getting themselves ready for the next couple of laps. Yeah, these drivers really need to position themselves to set a lap in the last time possible. Track evolution here is just crazy. The leaderboard is moving like it's no tomorrow. I'm trying to find a driver that is on a lap, I believe. Here we go. Red Tox is on a lap, I believe. So we have drivers saying they're still out on the 3-lap tires. For example, Peso, he's still out. Tire wear isn't crazy since it's rainy. Oh, look at him. Red Tox went off a little bit. He definitely lost a lot of time there. Maybe he wants to recharge, go for another lap. But let's see who's in the lap. Looks like Matthias Knoll is in the out lap, so he'll be setting one with those fresh intermediates. What time will he set? It's about 1 minute 32. Can he make it for another lap? We'll have to see. That's going to be last second there. I believe Moldovan is starting his lap. No, it looks like his ERS is still charging. So it looks like these drivers are definitely finding... maybe they're waiting just for that perfect opportunity to start their lap at the last time.
They're going to have to hurry it up. They can't afford to block each other. Otherwise, we'll have a Monza 2019 situation on our hands. And Napa Davinsky, the winner from Monaco, jumps to the top in the Ferrari. 1:38.585. That's dropped the ball as well. They let him get out of it. Fantastic with less than a minute to go. I was about to say as well, Raven went from 20th into P5 in the second of the Alfa Romeos. 1:39.077 for him. Bergeroff now finally put on a time of intermediates. He's gone 8th fastest as well. So the fight for the top 10 still crucial. The fight for pole even more so, as they still get up together now as well. This race is certainly changing hands dramatically. But it's Napa Davinsky, 4th in the title at the moment. Only 12 points back, looking to hit the front here in the championship, going into the 4th race here at France.
It looks like Ferrari set himself in a very good position. Nabowski and Zelenkovic both driving 4 points. So hopefully they can help each other out. I got my money on Matthias Knoll, but is he going to have enough time to set lap time? I believe yes he is. There's only 2 seconds left. Matthias with a fresh set of intermediates, as well as 2 seconds on the board. He's definitely going to set a fast lap time. Let's go on board with him. Let's go. Let's see what he can do. Hopefully he doesn't invalidate his lap. He needs to push everything he can if he wants to set the lap time. But looks like first 2 drivers to cross the finish line is Moldovan and Ravon. The Alfa Romeo drivers, keeping them together, maybe helping out for the France race. Can't wait to see what kind of weather will bring to us. That's going to be an interesting aspect.
Absolutely, as Raven goes P5 as well. Peso's coming to the pit lane, so he's not going to improve. I think all eyes are now, as you say, going to be on Matthias Knoll, who's been fantastic in this season so far. He's always been involved in the battles, but correct me if I'm wrong, yet to win a race. 10 points in the first round in Portugal, 8 points at Silverstone, no points at Monaco as well. Napa Davinsky, at the moment, has provisional pole position. Knoll's 4/10 up on his own best time. This is getting close, but 1:38.5 is a tough time to beat, as the checker flags are starting to come round as well. And you just got to wonder, what is it going to be, as Raul, who was in P10, now drops P18 and takes the checkered flag as well. Kiewicz up there, Trip comes into the pit lane. Think this is the one we're going to be calling for, maybe challenging for pole. Zolt, yellow out in the 3rd sector as well. Tripkov's retired from the session in the pit lane. Here we go. Knoll into the last corner as well. It's a weird turn 15. It doesn't feel like a normal last corner before you blast off down the start-finish straight. Is this pole position as he takes the checkered flag? 1:38.5 to beat. It's only 1:38.7. He's 2/10 down and takes 3rd. It's Napa Davinsky carrying on his look for Monaco, and he's taking luck be a lady tonight as he's got pole for the French Grand Prix. Fabulous time.
Well, there you go. Matthias puts himself into P3. Very good position for the Mercedes driver, who hasn't scored any points in the Monaco race. Nabowski takes pole in the Ferrari. Looks like all the drivers are coming in for their pits and will be going into the race shortly. But what a qualifying we've seen from these drivers. Definitely takes some skill to put on those fast lap time.
Absolutely. Pole position once again. I think it's the 2nd time this year goes to Napa Davinsky. He's going to be looking to take over for pole position. Do you want to run us through the grid, Psycho?
Yeah, no worries. So we have pole position for Nabowski. He's starting for driving with Ferrari with a 38.5. And next we have the Peso of the Red Bull with a 38.6. Going down the order, we have Matthias Knoll with a nice lap time of a 38.7, and Janov Dovzan really close to him, but he still has a 38.7 as well. That's your top 5. Zelenkovic, Ferrari, Reven, Moldovan, both ran for the Alfa Romeo team. Yara Santiago, we have Bugger Off, the AM. Those are your top 10 scorers. Going on order, we have KFT Kevin, Bushy Ants, Red Talks, Days Rumbus, Faz, Daniko, FedEx, Rar, Yem Topkov, I believe, and Spiz. Then that will be your grid for today. Let's see what kind of race will we have. Will we have a wet race? We don't know. We'll see. Going on to the section. Looks for me. It will be. It looks dry for me, to be honest. But there is clouds overhead.
Looks to be as well. You can definitely see that clouds. We'll wait to see what the conditions are going to bring as the players are loading in. So my question for you, Psycho, is going to be as well. If it looks like we've got rain on the horizon, would you plan for starting on the soft compound tyre and then going harder late on in the race, or are you going to go full on to run now with soft mediums in a run? What's your strategy plan for the race?
Well, it's definitely a hard one. You have to kind of predict when the rain is going to come. I mean, sure, the F1 game does give you a prediction on when it will come, like 5, 10, or 20 minutes. But you never know. I've been in some races where it tells you the rain is going to come in 20 minutes, but it comes in the next 2 laps. So if it was me, if the rain is about to come in 20 minutes, I believe I'll put in the medium tires, or even possibly the hard tires. But yeah, if there's rain, it's definitely going to be some first lap shootouts for those drivers. They're going to fight hard for those positions, because when the crossover comes, they're going to definitely play with the strategy. Are they going to undercut? Are they going to overcut? Or they're just going to gamble a little bit, stay out on those dry tires? We'll see. We have all these drivers putting in their strategy, putting in their fuel and setup, and we're going to go head over. We're going to go for the race soon, starting on the formation lap.
Yep. And the cars now just into their final positions of setting up. The drivers will have that opportunity now. They're sat on the grid, as you can see. One light until we go for the formation lap. And away they go. Napadovitsky will lead them away from Peso and Canal, as you say. And very much a split of strategies. Wow, only Duzvan's got on softs, but that's an interesting one. So that's telling me there's rain on the way. Completely, there's rain on the way later on in the race.
There is rain on the way, but what's also interesting is that Dovzan is on the soft tires, which, I mean, if everyone's going for the hard tires, I will believe that the rain is going to come way later on in the race. We have some drivers gambling, putting on the medium tires, but Dovzan taking the biggest gamble out of all the drivers here, putting on the soft tires.
So they make their way down the Mistral Straight. You can get in touch with us on the YouTube chat, and we'll throw any questions you have, and we'll say them as well out on the stream. As you can see, Santiago, who's down in 8th place as well, just noticed he's on the board as well after some interesting early on runs in the season. We will be having 27 laps ahead of us later on. Keep your fingers crossed that we're going to have drama. I know many people have said to me in the past week, oh, PSGL, we're racing in the French Grand Prix, that's going to be a boring race, I won't tune in. I've said to them, no, tune in, because the French Grand Prix on esports is absolutely bonkers. As you were alluding to earlier, Psycho, as well, the layout of the track and the extra lines you can take, it's just fantastic for some opportunistic moves. Where's your favourite part of the track to sort of go dive bombing on the inside?
Oh, that's a tricky one. There's a lot of overtaking possibilities. I would say in Sector 2, I believe it is the turn 6, where you go around the fast. It's a hard braking, but you stop from that long DRS straight. So we can definitely see some overtake opportunities in Sector 2, as well as the last sector. There's some tight curves there, but there's definitely a lot of opportunities for quick dive bombs for these drivers.
The auto director taking control of the cars, forming them up. At this point, as you can see, ERS fully charged, but tyre temperatures will be dropping. But the anticipation is rising. There's rain in the air at the Castellet as well. We've got drivers who are itching to get going. The start procedure is underway. We are waiting for those magic lights to go out. 5 on, And it's lights out, and it's a terrible start from Canal. He did not get going. Napadavinsky leads away from Peso as we head down to turn 1. Look at the Ferrari of Zoltan as well. He's just way down the order with Kimmich as well. But a terrible start from Mateus Canal. Oh, contact mid-back as well as Rhombus goes round.
Looks like there was an Alfa Romeo in the back there. Doesn't look like anybody else was collected, but looks like Moldovan is gone out of the race. Not quite. There's still some orders being switched up there. There's overtakes going down in the background, but looks like Domdowski is keeping himself pretty clear. I see some overtakes going on in the background there. You have Topkov making some moves there. But it looks like there's a Williams as well. He's going for he's looking around the back of the Red Bull. Yeah, Yari Santiago is looking right under there. What is he going to do? He's going to go for the overtake there, and boom, there you go. With those soft tires, he's definitely putting on some lap times there. But how long will it be until some collisions? And who's that? I saw someone around there. Looks like it's an Alpine.
Yeah, it's Peso and Santiago, but exactly as you said there earlier on the formation lap, down at that part, turn 8 as well. Oh, Red Bull going through the barrier there. That's through the brake marker board. That was Peso, who got forced wide by Santiago, who's moved up into 3rd place. Peso started on the hard tyres. It hasn't worked out for him. The medium runs of Santiago and the soft runs of Duzvan have made themselves quicker as it's more action further back. FaZe versus Rhombus as well. Moldovan is now 3 seconds back after the opening lap accident as well. Terrible start for him. Terrible start for Canal, who botched 3rd place off the grid. He just did not get going. It looked like it almost went to anti-stall as Duzvan sets the fastest lap, dives up the inside and gets ahead of Napadavinsky. He's going to say bye-bye as well. And it's now Alon's D for the rest of the race.
Well, there you go, with Yanov Dovzan with those blistering soft tires. He's definitely putting on his lap time. And but how long will it take for the rain to come? It's going to definitely take some time, but it doesn't look like it's going to come anytime soon. The clouds are still there, but how long will it take for these drivers to act up, make some few mistakes? It's definitely easy here to get some penalties. I've seen in the past in a lot of races where penalties are accumulated, but I feel like these drivers are definitely going to keep inside the track. Hopefully my commentator's curse doesn't break that.
Well, let's keep your fingers crossed, actually, because that commentator's curse is always powerful whenever it gets mentioned as well. Santiago closing up in the back of Napadavinsky. The driver starting on the hard compound tyres are not having the best of luck as the AM goes right round the outside of Bushian. So, yeah, everyone on the hard tyres being dropped now. Danny goes to the inside, coming into the sides corner as well. Bushian's trying to stay around the outside. They're going to be contact, surely, my goodness me. 3 into 1 into a tight braking zone. That could have ended in a horrible accident, but it's with Danny trying to go around the outside of the AM in the Haas car. That's a tricky move. They go off the track ever so slightly, but that was a door, I'm afraid, that was always closing, and he won't get it back into the last sector. Nope, he's shut the door. Tripkov is passing now on Spies as well. This is unbelievable racing. They're all so close together. I did not expect this.
Yeah, everyone's keeping it so close. The trains are starting to form. Those medium runners are still going really fast against the hards. Yeah, the gaps are pretty close. There's some overtaking going on. DRS is now activated, so we're definitely going to see some more action putting on throughout this race. But what can these drivers do? We have Yari Santiago, the first driver to get the penalty.
That's unbelievable because he was closing down on Napadavinsky. There's 6 tenths between him and he's on the medium tyres. So that's going to affect him big time towards the end of the race. It's not a 5-second penalty, it is the 3. So he's going to have to carry that for the rest of the race. Bagrov's closing on the back of Bushians as well. Down to the Mistral chicane. Moldovan's past FedEx. FedEx has dropped back massively actually. So I wonder what happened to him at the start of the race. He qualified in 18th. But still, to be 3 seconds back that's unbelievable. Look at this. Bar Raven as well. Everybody's inside a second. Fantastic. It's a DRS train down the Mistral Straight. Tripkov gets ahead of Spies as well. They're still side by side. Mercedes trying to hold it on the outside. Maybe a sling back on the inside. It's a triple apex part of the track, turn 11. It doesn't seem like it's worked out that much. Duzvan leads the way on those soft tyres, 6 tenths of a second faster at the moment to Napadavinsky. The fight for the title very truly on. Watch out, Moldovan. He's down in 19th place, the championship leader in real problems, as we've been saying. So this is now advantage Napadavinsky, advantage Duzvan, advantage Danny. Hell, even advantage Santiago, and he's way down the field.
Oh, look at this, Moldovan is gone. What's happened to him? Yeah, I think there's some damage there on that car. I don't. Yeah, it looks like an M plate is. Yeah. Oh wait, no, never mind. There is a wing still intact there. Maybe some individual damage. But interestingly, Napdavoski is actually keeping close to the soft tires. He was like 6/10 behind Dovzan, and now it's 8/10. But even with the soft tires compared to the hards, he's still keeping it close. Looks like Yair Santiago is right behind him. He has no ERS at all, and he's gonna fly past right beside Navoski as well. He is pretty low in ERS usage as well. There are gonna be some easy overtakes going over here. How much ERS does Dovzan have? He has about 25% ERS as well, so they are all pushing right now.
And they've broken away as well. The top four, Duzvan, Santiago, Davinsky and Peso, they've got 2.2 seconds to Raven as well in the second of the Alfa Romeos. So they really have split the gaps now. It's really forming, as you say, to a race of two halves. Two separate trains are forming as well, as Raven on the hard tyres starting to fall back. Watch out then for Tripkov Spies and the AM. They're on the medium compound and they're moving up the order ever so slowly. One by one, lap after lap, they're going faster, but they'll drop off the cliff first, and especially Duzvan as well. He's going to drop off the cliff massively. He's praying on early rain, and everyone else is praying for rain at the later half of the race. I've never seen all three tyre compounds in an esport race on the same screen before. We might even, if we're lucky, get the inters and the wets on, which means we'll have every tyre compound covered later on today.
That'll be an interesting range of colors there. Now looking a bit shaky off there, but still the train is starting to form. The top four are their own set of pace. Yair Santiago has almost has DRS, but Spiz gets a 3-second time penalty. He pushed a bit too much there. He's still high on ERS usage, but he is trying his best to defend off the AM. He is out of the DRS range, so are we going to see some overtakes going for this lap? P6 right here. We have Zelenkovic right behind the driver of the Alfa Romeo. Goes easy past behind it, but what can Raven do? Is he going to defend from it? Doesn't look like he is. He did look out there in the outside, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. There's some overtakes there with Spiz and the AM. He's pretty close. Look how close the gaps are. Raven gets another 3-second time penalty. No, sorry, that was his first 3-second time penalty. Yeah, sorry about that.
So he cut the corner at the exit of the Mistral chicane, as well as you say, Spies just closing up on the back of trying to go around the outside of the Haas. That's a brave corner. Look how close they're getting to each other. They're getting sucked into each other as well. The turbulent air is just dragging the cars in under braking as well. It's an amazing turnaround as FedEx gets a 3-second time penalty. He's down in 18th position anyway. But now they're all starting to bunch back up again as well. And watch out for Zelen as well as that's Danny. Oh, what's happened? It's pit lane for Spies. So Spies pits. And he's out of the race. He's retired. So the Mercedes driver has said, that's enough for me, and he's out of the race. Wow.
He's out of the race, but something to take note here. It's actually getting sunny out here. The sun is decided to come and shine towards the race, so is this an implication that the rain is not going to come soon? I don't know. We'll see later on.
France is being typical France with its weather and not making its mind up. We've got clouds on one half of the circuit and bright sunshine on the other. The F1 game really does love to throw us some surprises. Now, Duzvan leads by 0.8 of a second. If this race stays dry, he's in a very good position as Tripkov closes down on Kevin. Look at the inside, Canals past Raven into the chicane just further ahead, as you can see. And Tripkov could not get anywhere near the McLaren. There's a yellow first sector, and that's okay. That's just Spy's car getting out of the way as Canal gets ahead of Raven, but Raven's not wanting to let this one go without a fight as well as they head down towards the Sirens corner. Can't find a way through. What a wonderful camera angle. How did they not lose the wing there? This is really great racing. This is why they're in the top four classes. This is what great racing we see. They're all fighting to move up the order into whether it's Formula 3, Formula 2, or even racing down in Formula 1.
Who's that?
There's a Red Bull round. It's Tripkov.
Tripkov has run around. Something might have happened. There was probably some collision there. But he is back down the order. He's still stuck within a train of RAR and FedEx. But let's see what young Turkov can do. He's definitely going to lose a lot of points if he can't catch himself up. But the gaps are still getting closer and closer. The sun is still shining on there. This track looks beautiful under the sunshine. Look at this. They're going side by side into turn 1. Who's going to come out on top? Looks like Danny Coe is. But who is that? Buggeroff is right behind him. And they are still going to go side by side. The AEM gets double overtaken by these drivers. But look what they're going to do. Oh my god. No contact there. But my heart almost stopped there. That was really close from these 3 drivers. And look at Aston Martin behind them. They're just ready to go for the overtake.
Get a defibrillator on standby for the co-commentator. This is unbelievable racing. They're so close together. And with Tripkov now putting on the hard tyres, he's going further along as well in this race. So he might be good later if it stays dry as they come through. Now, Tripkov was battling in the one we're watching now. He's with the AM and Buggeroff and Danny as well. He was one of the medium runners I told you to watch out for. So he must have tried to maneuver around the outside and just got spun around. So we know now that this group we're watching, the battle for the top 10, it's getting physical. The fists are well and truly out as Duvsvan has got 4/10 now of a second to Santiago, who is holding off Napadavinsky. The top 4 still holding together. All eyes, though, on this battle for P10 and the last points paying position.
Yeah, the P10 battle is growing stronger and stronger. You can see how the gaps are so close. Even though, look at that, Bushy Ants is almost there in the back of Buggeroff. But it's just 3/10, 4/10, 2/10 separating these drivers. They're still going for moves. What is this? Yanov Dovzan has actually gone down to P2. Look at this. This is a fight going on for P1 actually.
I think Duzvan must have made a mistake. He's dropped 6/10 of a second. Santiago's gone through, so now Brzezinski's right in the back, so the battle for the lead right back on as Peso's joining it as well. 4-way fight for 16 points. Don't mind if I do. Santiago gets a kick of oversteer. Duzvan's got to get up with the DRS with limited ERS as they come down the Mistral straight towards the chicane. Looks to the inside, does a Verstappen and dives through and retakes the lead away from Santiago. And that's just using up more and more of his tyre life. Watch Santiago come back at him. Oh, and that's Canal trying to dive up the inside of Zelenkiewicz as well. It hasn't paid off. Maybe in the second phase, trying to go right around the outside of Sainz corner. That's a brave one. I'll give him £1,000,000 if he can pull that off. Oh, side by side, waiting for them to come into shots. He's pulled it off. I'm £1,000,000 down.
Well, there you go. You're going to have to pay some bucks for that overtake there. That was very good action from Matthias Canal. He started P3, but has dropped down the order a little bit. Dovzan is still leading the race, but look at that. Yar Santiago is right back of him. And I won't be surprised if there's going to be some action going to turn 1. The pit window is almost open for Dovzan. Those softs are definitely dying off. I believe this is the turning point where mediums are going to get faster than the softs. And look at this. There you go.
Dives to the inside, laying the brakes. That's an easy overtake as well. I think Duzvan let him through. Look how much of a tight inside line he took. Oh, and Santiago, he's got a 3-second time penalty. That's good night Vienna for him. Duzvan's trail braking him. It's like a NASCAR. He's pushing him back so much as well. So Napadavinsky still in P3 as well. So, yeah, Santiago just trying to get those times out now at the front. He's got to get 6 seconds, but I don't think he is. These 4 are fighting for the top 4 in the race.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Yar Santiago, keeping that 6-second penalty. But look at this. Napadavinsky is only 1/10 behind Dovzan. Is he going to go for it? No, he plays it safe, sticking right behind him. But look at this. Dovzan is also very close for the P1 position. Going to the back here of Zelenkiewicz, as well as the other drivers behind him. They're keeping it close as well. Some overtakes, are they going to happen? We'll see. Looks like Zelenkiewicz, he's not utilizing his battery, but he is behind. There it is. Dovzan, look at this. Nomowski, they're going side by side, or they were going side by side, and they're going for the battles right here.
So down to 3rd place goes Duzvan as well. Napadavinsky's finally got back ahead of the soft tyres starting to go off as Napadavinsky's right on the back of Santiago. You can hear those hard tyres now finally in the groove with the music as well as they race around this Le Castellet circuit of Port Ricard. Battling down the start-finish straight. They'll have a DRS, as you can see now as well. It's a race of 2 halves. The battle for 1st and 2nd, the battle for 3rd and 4th. Side by side, Peso gets ahead of Duzvan, who's gone from 1st to 4th in the space of a lap. Now, Napadavinsky, he's going to be waiting to see which way he can throw the car down on the inside. He'll probably wait for the second half of the Mistral straight and try an outside maneuver into the Sainz chicane so he can just block off any secondary attack from Santiago.
Well, there you go. Looks like the softs are dying off now. They definitely need to pit. The pit window is around lap 10 to lap 12, and he can definitely pit for the mediums and make it last to the end. And if there's no rain, it's definitely going to be a good position for him, because if there's no rain and he's on the faster medium tires, then he's going to be flying throughout these sector times. So maybe the gamble might work off for Dovzan actually. But with those softs, he didn't quite run off as I intended to in the early stages. But looks like he's 8/10 behind Peso.
It's getting closer and closer, because I thought they'd drop Duzvan, but actually he's staying with them, as you say, down to 9/10 in the braking zone. But a little bit wide there for Santiago. Looked like Napa was thinking about a move on the inside. No, didn't get that done, so they're going to wait now just to see. Pit stops are going to favour the hard tyre runners, but as you do say, Psycho, if Duzvan can get the overcut, that's going to be something to watch out for. DRS active again, down towards turn 1. Oh, Duzvan pit.
Dovzan is going into the pits. Yeah, the tires were definitely not going to be optimal for these drivers. And we have Bugger Off as well. He's heading to the pits as well.
And he was on the medium tires, so that's an interesting changeover this early for the medium runners. They've only done 9 laps. Moldovan in there again, so that's his second stop of the afternoon. So he's going to drop right back down the grid as well. The top 3 still running together as we watch Zelan Kivic as well.
Yeah.
Fighting with Tejas Canali.
Looks like the top 3 drivers are still leading in front. There's 3 drivers just pulling off from the train. There's a 4.5 seconds between these 2 trains here. And there's a lot of action still going on. Going to the DRS straight. Is there going to be any overtake opportunities? All these drivers are 4/10, 3/10 behind each other. Zelenkovic saw in the inside if there was an opportunity, but looks like there isn't any. The closest gap right now is Danico with only 2/10 behind Kevin. So the gaps are still close. Everyone's just waiting for the perfect opportunity to go for that overtake.
Yeah, it's becoming like what we saw in Monaco a week ago as well, where everybody was just settling into the race in this part, just settling, not going for that many manoeuvres as well. We never saw an overtake past lap 25 last week, so if it's going to be not past lap 11, I'm going to be very, very disappointed. Give us some good racing. We've had a great race so far. But look at that. When was the last time you saw so many drivers within half a second of each other? This is unbelievable.
Yeah, I can just see it, yeah. P1 to P13 is just 5 or 7 tenths each other.
Brilliant. Brilliant. This is fantastic as they come through now. Down we go into the braking zones. Oh, another 3 seconds for Santiago.
No.
He does not like turn 1. Here comes Napa. Is he going to send it down the inside to turn 4? No. Getting close though.
Yes, there's some overtakes actually there. Look, if we go back down there, Dovzan just overtake Rar with those new mediums. He's definitely going to be a lot faster than these drivers here. The mediums are going to slowly die off soon. They have about like 5 or 6 laps of life left. So, but the hards, they're lasting very, very long. And doesn't look like there's going to be any chance of rain. What do you think?
No, dive bomb on the inside. Napa Davinsky takes the lead in the French Grand Prix away from Santiago. And now Peso is very much going to be on the back of Santiago. Santiago going to have to defend as well. And he's not done it. Chances of rain, to go back to your question, because that got very much on the last minute. I think with the race going on, the chances of rain is dropping. We might stay dry. But do you remember what happened in PSGL's PCF1 race yesterday with George Morgan back on the commentary stream for, what did he call it? A one-hit wonder return. But he as well saw that the rain was coming down on the last lap with Jana Watmir taking the win. So anything can happen. It's been a very similar situation. Top 3 then changes again. Napa Davinsky retakes the lead. He had pole position at the start of lap 13. He has pole. Speeding in the pit lane phase. That's a hard one to swallow because it's in the pit lane now.
Yeah, that's definitely a hard one to swallow. That's definitely not going to be removable. I can only say the only time it can be removed if it's another driver forcing you to the pit lane. But yeah, but it doesn't look like he can remove that penalty, unfortunately for him. But going back into this grid, the train is still setting itself off. Butchie Ants gets a 3-second time penalty. The Aston Martin keeping it close with Dave's Rhombus. But they're actually still keeping very close to each other. I don't think there's much team play going on over here. Aston Martin hopefully getting to staying more points. We haven't seen much points coming off from these two drivers, but we'll see heading on to the latest races of the stages. We have the AM. I saw was he going side by side? No, I did. He did look for the inside against Kevin, but yeah, still a lot of laps left. We have about 15 laps to go, so don't leave. We have some more action to bring you guys.
Yeah, do not leave the room. Stay exactly where you are. Look at that. Kevin's got no ERS. He's recharging it now, but he's trying to defend from the Haas and the AM, who's looking up the inside. They're trading positions left, right, and centre here at the French Grand Prix. It's a battle of wits we're seeing here. Who is going to be braking first? With, as you say, 15 laps to go, and Tripkov with another penalty. As multiple. Who's diving in? Danny and Kevin into the pit lane.
The hards are actually going in. Yeah, I say it's a bit too early for the hards, but maybe they wanted to utilize the medium tires because the hard strategy didn't really work out to use the hards in the beginning. I don't believe it was an optimal strategy. So maybe they just want to use the medium tires as fast as they can so they can put in those lap times in.
They must have all thought there was rain coming, and then the sun has just changed it as well. They must have thought it. It's an unusual swap around. And not another penalty for Santiago. What's your penalty? 12?
I believe it is 12 penalties. Yeah, 12 seconds for the P2 drivers, so he is going to fall down the order quick. Fastest lap time for a hard driver. Hard setter, it's 32.0 actually. I thought it was going to be a medium runner, but no. The track is still evolving, so we'll see what these drivers do when they pit. Gaps are still close and close, but we're not seeing any overtakes yet. Everyone's keeping it close, recharging the ERS. So we'll see what's gonna happen. We still have these top 3 drivers. They haven't pitted yet, but they're still being very close. See, Yari Santiago, he's very close. Look at that. He's only 1/10 behind Napadovsky. So it's a hard name to pronounce that, but apologies if I do pronounce that wrong. But yeah, still some laps left to see.
As Peso is closing up on the back as well, on to Santiago. Oh, and Santiago hits the pit lane. So that's him done then. And he gets another penalty. And he's out of the race.
Yeah.
He's retired. Wow.
Yeah, honestly, that's so hard to recover from that many penalties. I'm unfortunate for him. It would have been nice to see him go on for this race. But yeah, that's so unfortunate for Yar Santiago.
Easy two-way fight then as multiple cars come into the pit lane. We're watching Bushy Ants. He has a penalty though later on in the Aston Martin. Yar's in there as well, I think. Yeah, that's because he's just retired from the race. Red Tox is in. Bushy Ants, Matteo Canali as well in there too. So 2 retirements. Both of them have done so in the pit lane. Both out of frustration as well, I can imagine. What would they call it? A rage quit. As they come through. So it's an easy two-way fight as we see right now. Dazed Rhombus closing in on the Haas of the AM, going defensive under braking. Oh, that was close to contact, but Rhombus going right round the outside and prudently keeping his nerve as the AM went a bit too aggressive there and defended. How did you read that one, Psycho?
That's very good for those Dazed Rhombus. I believe Bushy Ants did pit first because they both pitted. They will double stack, and that's everything going to cost a lot of time. So going for the overtake on the last move is actually really good for him, as he will retain that P5 position going on over to the races. But pitting for medium tires, it's pretty much you have to do it now or later. Rauer gets a 3-second time penalty, so more penalties accumulating for these drivers. But if Dazed Rhombus now, he's definitely going to put himself in a good position.
Peso pits. Peso is the first one then of the top leaders to decide, okay, I've had enough on these hard tyres. I'm going to try the undercut. Napadovsky keeps the lead of the race. He's going to start accelerating. It's mediums on for the Red Bull driver. And now we've got to keep an eye on whether Ferrari will switch back. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a Ferrari 1-2. Napadovsky from Zelenkiewicz as well.
Yeah, it looks like, who's that? Peso, yeah, Peso's still in the pits. Yeah. He did get overtaken by Dovzan, actually. So, he's pretty far up there, actually. He's only 1.1 seconds in front of Peso, so strategies kind of worked there for Dovzan. He is far ahead of Peso, but what can Peso do? He is still inside, no, actually, no, he's 4.4 seconds behind Dovzan, I believe.
you're correct. And it's Duzvan's closing in on FedEx, who is yet to stop. The undercut has worked for Duzvan as well. So Johan Duzvan is effectively your race leader on the net lead of the race. We're yet to see if he can make those tyres to the end. Surely they will have no problem. Only 5-lap old mediums with another 11 to go. That's only 17 laps. That's easily doable for the mediums, though.
Oh yeah, that's definitely easy, Bull. You can definitely see. Look at this. Dovzan is actually going for the overtake here against FedEx. There you go, another overtake for Dovzan. He is putting in some serious lap times here. He is 10 seconds behind P5. So it's looking really good for Dovzan, playing out the strategy nicely.
It's turning into a fight now, mainly about the championship, with Bogdan Moldovan down in 17th place. The driver is only 3 points back from him, was Duzvan as well. He's now going to, I think, be joint lead in the championship off my basic mathematics skills. He'll be, same points as Napodavinsky. That's insane if they stay where they are, but Duzvan is going to go for it. We're going to see the order ripped up in the standings after this race. We are going, if Duzvan can win, 4 different winners from the opening 4 races. But right now, it's Napodavinsky in the Ferrari leading the way, going to do the double. Monaco to France, 2 French races, back-to-back wins on the cards for him with 11 to go.
Matthias Canal saying the fastest lap time. We see Fast rocking the Landon Norris helmet, so it's going on him. I believe he was one of the late joiners because I believe if you take over an AI, you do keep their helmets on for the driver you do choose on. So I believe Fast might be the driver that joined later on during qualifying session, actually.
Raven's jumped to second, and he's in a battle with Zelenkiewicz as well. I'm not sure if that's live on the track. Yes, it is. So Raven's got past Zelen. So Zelen's made a mistake. Oh, and Rhombus going for it. Wow.
Days Rhombus was almost having contact there with Zelenkiewicz. I saw the gap was like 0.60 milliseconds. So let's see. The drivers are still out there on the hard. Meanwhile, Dovzan is saying the serious lap time. He is only 8. Let's look at the gap for the leaders actually. Dovzan is 17 seconds behind Napodavinsky. And look at this. AM is pitting actually. The AM is pitting right now.
So that takes it back now. 3-way fight, effectively, as this is incredible. I'm running out of words to say about this race. I told you, on the formation lap, the French Grand Prix in esports is fantastic, as Pesso moves up to P6 as well and sets the fastest lap, 1:31.575, as the AM drops surely outside at least the top 10 on the board. Yep, does indeed. As he dropped down to 12th, 13th, it's going down and down. But Rhombus now closing in on Zelen, who's closing in again on Raven as well. The battle's on with second place on the line. But this time, Rhombus has got the DRS. He's going to have all of the ERS. He's looked to the inside. I thought it was going to be a 3-way fight there. A bit like when Mansell pulled the move on Senna at Hungary. A nice triple move off as Bugger Off gets a 3-second time penalty. And doesn't that just sum up the day for him?
Yeah, that's only how much? 9 laps left are on this race. The tires, the hard drivers, I believe they might go on for the softs. Look at this. There's some battle going on there. They're going side by side and going this tight curve. Who's going to come out on top is the Days Rhombus. He's saying some lap times here. Remember, we saw him. We have Rauer getting another 3-second time penalty. These drivers are getting extremely close right now.
And they are leaving nothing on the track at all. They are full out having a fist fight. As he comes into the last corner, Zelen's going to really go defensive. He's trying to get second place back on the road as well from Raven. He's not thinking about Rhombus behind. Rhombus is going on maximum attack. He's thinking he can get second place as well. Canal get ready to pass Danny as well into the last corner, sweeping in. Alpine, that's only P7 at the moment with Santiago out of the race, so the French hopes are going a bit down there.
Yeah, but it looks like Novotsky and all the hard runners are definitely going to go for some soft strategy there, but is that going to be enough laps to go for the overtakes? There's only 8 laps left, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, Red Sox gets a 3-second penalty there. So how many drivers is that? We got 8 drivers that have a penalty of some sort.
Just trying to work out. Oh, and Zelenkiewicz has moved to second. He did the dive bomb, as you said in the pre-show, up into turn 8 as well. Watch out now for Rhombus to romp up the inside line. Raven's going with him. Oh, 3 wins a war at sides. It used to be a corner. Even Martin Brundle said, if you had an accident there, you'd be waking up with hospital food on your bed for the next 3 weeks. It's not stopping Rhombus on the inside, and he's done it. He's up to 3rd place. He's pushing Raven wide, and Raven comes back at him. They nearly make contact. The front wings are very valuable.
Oh! No! Days Rhombus is off, and he reset it to the track. No. Days Rhombus has reset it to the track. That's going to be a marshal. That's definitely not allowed in this league, so we'll see what the marshals about that. But also, Lebedowski has gone into the pits, and Days Rhombus gets a 5-second time penalty. Oh, no.
So that promotes Zelenkiewicz to the lead of the race. Raven into second, but he did cause that contact as well, as you say. And then we also saw the unusual thing of having more penalties on the board. Raven gets another penalty. Look at this. Duzvan up into 3rd place. He's jumped up. Peso's right there with him. It might move into a place now where we're watching Duzvan going for the race win with Peso, as Napadavinsky has dropped down to 6th place. It's all changed in the space of a lap here at the French Grand Prix. Brilliant.
Peso, he has 5 newer tires than Dovzan. It's definitely gonna. Zelenkiewicz and Raven, they haven't pitted yet, but they're only 6 seconds behind. If they do decide to pit, they're definitely going to be far down the order. Look at this. Peso's going for the overtake there. He's sending in the inside of Dovzan. It looks like he's going to retain that position, but we still have one more turn. He's going to spam his. It doesn't look like he's going to utilize his ERS, but most importantly, look at this. 2% on the battery. Yeah, it's not really concerning with his battery, and looks like Dovzan is charging a little bit there.
Look how close he's got through the Science corner as well. I talked about the suction of the cars that are tailing being dragged through the corner, and it's working again. Duzvan's very much now on the back, trying to have a go. Maybe turn 1 is going to be an opportunity for overtake. It's the next DRS zone. You can see it on the mini-map as Kiewicz and Raven hit the pit lane, which means Peso and Duzvan are going to have the lead of the race. Napadavinsky put on the soft compound tyre. It's a brand new set as well. That's going to be cool.
But they only have 7 laps left. Is that going to be enough to go for some overtakes? Is that going to be enough to bring themselves in the podium position? We will see. There's 7 laps left. Is there even possible for a safety car? I know the track is pretty wide, but it's a low chance to get a safety car in these conditions, to be honest.
It does go lower and lower, but we've seen the safety car come out with 2 laps to go before as well. Only a couple of days ago, I think that happened in PSGL and the PS at Monaco. We're watching the AM closing up with Kevin as well. I'm having Discord pings left, right and centre because it's the F4 general chat with all the drivers who are out of the race who are pinging it. AVTR saying, I am so stupid, the penalties, I'm stupid, sorry. So he's apologising already going out there. But everything's going crazy as the AM lines up a move on KTF Kevin and goes up the inside. No need to slap your face and scream Kevin this time. He knows where he is and it's down a position to P9.
We also have had in the back there, Days Rhombus is going for some more overtakes. He's right behind a bugger off. Let's see. He is on the soft tires, and we can see the speed difference there. He's not even utilizing battery, and he's getting sucked in behind bugger off. But is that going to be enough to go for an overtake? There is some penalties tied to his name. And look at this. Look at, he's going to go for the overtake. He's going side by side against bugger off. Is there going to be any collision like we saw with the other drivers? Doesn't look like it. He is in the faster compounded tires, so he is passing by with a slight issue, but it doesn't look like there's going to be any more difficulty for Days Rhombus.
A beautiful move on those tyres as well. Right strategy call as Duzvan closing up. Look at that. Napadavinsky's closed in what was a 4-second gap. It's now a 2-second gap. He's right back in the fight. It's a 3-way fight for the French Grand Prix. You do not want to leave the room in the closing stages of this one. Peso leading the way. Duzvan is second. Napadavinsky third. I'm looking. Don't think Peso.
Oh,
no, he has
Zelenkiewicz gets a 3-second time penalty. Oh no.
Napa. No, is it Napa?
No, it was the Ferrari of Zelenkiewicz. Yeah.
Right. I thought for a split second in my ears, I thought you said Napa. Oh, right.
Retirement's into the pit, so no safety cars for there.
Oh. got a bit scared there. Look how Duzvan's getting right up with Pesso as well. You can almost hear the Hamilton and Verstappen of 2020 right in the background as well. It's getting that type of overtake coming, as this is Matteo Canali. You can see how low he is on internet, with ETA, Danny, Co up into the positions as well. FaZe is there.
Oh.
Moldovan defending from bugger off though.
Yeah, I saw there was some contact there. They almost, Bugger Off almost lost his car there. But still looking good. Sector 3 looks like it's the AI car of the Haas RAR. He's going to self himself out there. Hopefully nothing dangerous will come because of that. In the back there, we have Raven and Red Sox. There was some overtakes from over here.
Kevin's wing. KTF Kevin's front wing, it looked damaged to me as the AM breezes past Bushy Ants and holds that position right round the outside. Where's the McLaren? No, okay, the wing looks okay. That's great to see. I thought there was damage there, which is not what you want to see because it severely affects the aero package. But the battle for 7th is very much on between these guys as well as they head down towards turn 1. Green flags are back out on lap 23 and 27. That's great news. Sometimes if you retire in the pit lane, the car wanders back onto the track and it does cause a full safety car. It hasn't happened here today as Kevin's under pressure from Kiewicz as well, down into turn 4 and 5. Hasn't worked out that way.
Yellow flag for
That's
FedEx.
Yeah. Going. Yeah. Oh, I thought for a second you get to this part of the race and you just think, oh, please no safety cars. Let's have a clean race. Look at this from Kiewicz now as well. He's right on the back. He's going to make the move.
Is he go? There's some speed difference there. He's on the new soft. Is he going to go for the dive? What can these two drivers do? There's also some more overtaking there. Look at it. The soft just propels himself into the corner and he puts himself up there. Bushy Ants and the AM. And look at that. Napa and Pesso are still fighting off as well. But look at this overtake. We're going side by side with Bushy Ants and the AM fighting for the P7 position. Who's going to come out on top? Looks like they're still keeping it pretty close with each other.
Yeah, side by side, Bushy Ants pushes the wheel of the AM and the Ferrari's getting involved. Wow, that's a battle and a half as Red Tongues gets the penalty. Bushy Ants goes wide, the AM takes them both out. Kiewicz is going to be right there with him. Can he get a move? He's forcing his way between the middle of them. He takes a wide line. He knows if they make contact, he can slip through on the inside, no problem. As the race lead changes, as Duzvan and Pesso both get past down the start-finish straight, and Napa Davinsky on lap 24-27 takes the lead in the French Grand Prix on those soft tyres. 4 abreast into turn 1. Who's going to come out on the top? And it's all settling down with the AM. Kevin, and then Zelan Kiewicz, Raven, now on board with Bushy Ants. Wow!
All fighting for that P7 position. Some good points are upheld for these 4 drivers. They're fighting each other hard. Let's look at the penalty situation for these 4 drivers. Faz has 8 seconds penalty. Meanwhile, Raven has the 6-second time penalty. But all these drivers are fighting for those P7 positions.
There's more overtakes further up as well as that's the Haas and the AM trying to move across. The Ferrari blocked the door. Raven's going to try and go around the outside and he's taken the AM. So Raven goes to 8, but has more as a penalty than the AM and Bushy Ants. Remember, watch out for Zelan. He's going to move up ahead of FaZe as well. It's a game of mathematics, the French Grand Prix, with all the penalty drivers slotting in together. Pesso is not letting Napa Davinsky go. Gap still 5/10 between them. Duzvan on older tyres is still within a second, but is dropping back. Coming up to 3 laps to go. About to start the last laps now, as you can see, because we've got Napa Davinsky crossing the line. Now it's 3 to go. 25 and 27. The AM holding back Bushy Ants as well. This is the battle also for the last points paying position. It's close. And this is great news and great racing. Who was that side by side? That's it. It's Red Tux and Rhombus. Rhombus on the outside. And I think this is an easy move on those soft tyres. This is a great strategy call for the race.
Yeah, there's still about 2 laps left. Looks like there's all these drivers are still finding position. Janov Dovzan is still keeping in that podium position, but he's slowly dying off. Those 14 laps of mediums are definitely crossing over and going very slow. He's only 5/10. So look at this. Pesso is... Oh, he was really close to him, actually. I thought he was going to go for the overtake there.
More ERS power out of the second of the Mistral chicane as this Raven getting past. No, Raven passing Zelan Kiewicz now as well for P7. as the AM desperately battling with Rhombus. That's making contact and they're sliding the AM. Oh, and yeah, Ants goes through, Rhombus goes through. Both Astons saying thank you very much. I'll have the AM for lunch, please.
All these overtakes happening at once. Look at all these drivers. They're going for the overtakes in the last 2 laps here. Peso and Nabowski, they're still fighting each other out. They're both leveled out in the ERS level, actually. All these 3 drivers. There's nobody behind them. It's only 3 drivers. Who's that? There's a Haas.
Yeah, I thought so. The AM has been hit off by Dazed Rhombus. They were making side-by-side maneuvers round the outside of turn 11, and they made contact. I thought they would, and that's dropped the AM down in 16th place. But the battle for the lead is on with 2 laps to go as Peso is closing up on Napadovitsky. When's he going to make the move? Surely it's going to have to be this lap so he can defend. Duzvan, 3 second penalty.
No, that's not good for him. It's definitely going to keep his podium position, but there is no chance of him winning this race, unfortunately.
Unless Napadovitsky and Peso make contact, we're about to find out. Peso's got the DRS and the ERS. He's putting it to full use. He's doing a Verstappen on the inside into the Mistral chicane, and Peso takes the lead. He's now got a lap and a half to defend from the Ferrari of Napadovitsky. It's going to be a tall order, but is that enough? He saved the ERS. He's got the tyres as Napadovitsky is still with him as they head down to the Sainz hairpin down at turn 11. Which way are they going to go? To the inside. The Ferrari thinks about it, not making a move. This is tremendous stuff.
There's only 1.25 lap left. These drivers are using everything they have so they can get that point position. Yanov Dozan, he is chilling. I believe he's not going to use it as much horsepower to keep within these cars. He knows his podium position is up for grabs for him, so he doesn't want to risk it at all. While these 2 drivers up front, everything is at risk. They want to use everything to get that P1 position. Peso is going to defend like hell if he wants to keep that podium position. He is on the 11-lap old tires.
Last lap the call. Napadovitsky's looking to the inside. Duzvan's joining this. He can only win the race if these 2 make contact and lose 3 seconds. Napadovitsky's fighting for the championship lead in many respects. He wants to do the French double. He won at Monaco 7 days ago. Can he win at Paul Ricard as well? As the top 3 still battling it out. But Peso with 35%, it's dropping rapidly, of ERS, has got to defend from Napadovitsky, who's on the DRS. Peso is weaving left and right down the first half of the Mistral Straight towards the chicane. Davinsky looks to the inside, late on the brakes, can't make the move. It's going to have to be a last lap lunge at some point in that 3rd sector. Down we go to the Sainz hairpin. Again, Peso is weaving left and right. Napa's in the turn. He takes the normal racing line as we see Kunal defending as well. And Napa trying to go around the outside.
Oh,
he swings to the
look
inside.
at that.
Peso wide.
He went a bit too wide.
They're still side by side. They make contact. And Napa trying to go around the outside. Peso's got the inside line. He holds the defensive line. He forces Napa off. Napa's side by side. Who's going to win the French Grand Prix? Napa's got the racing line. Peso's going to hold it with all his might. He's going to have to do the cutback. They make contact. Napa's got the nose ahead. It's the double across the line. Napadovitsky wins the French Grand Prix. Brilliant.
Oh, so unfortunate for Peso. He almost had the win there going to the last turn. He was in the P1 position, but Napadovitsky, what amazing racing there. He saved it until the last lap. But we actually saw a Mercedes driver, Matthias Kaniel. He's actually gone off. He was in P4, but unfortunately there was some collision there, and now he's promoted up to P7. Yanov Dovzan, even though he has a 3-second penalty, his gap was way ahead from the P4 driver, so he does keep his P4 position. And yeah, looks like that would be your the French Grand Prix for PSGL F4 League. What amazing action we've seen going on to the end of this race.
0.015 across the line. It went down to the last lap. That is what I mean when I say the PSGL Esports French Grand Prix rock. Brilliant! And Napadovitsky does the double. The first driver this year to take 2 back-to-back victories. Monaco 7 days ago and France 7 days later. Fantastic. He'll, I think, take the lead of the championship now. He's gained those 12 points over Moldovan. Moldovan, as you say, finished down in 14th place. He scores no points. Danny was down in 4th. He was only 3 points back. Yeah, I'm saying this title lead should mathematically go now to Napadavinsky as the podium hits. What a race.
What a race.
Wow. Champagne time. Celebrations all around. Very much deserved. I'll hand over to Psycho to take us through the results if they play. Because they didn't last week, as we'll wait and see. Right, take us through the results here, Pesa.
And of course, here we are. Napadavinsky wins the French Grand Prix with only a 0.015 millisecond gap to the Red Bull driver. Very good job from Peso, but unfortunate that's not going to be for him. So the top two drivers actually keeping their qualifying position, actually. They both started P1 and P2, and they kept their original position. Going down the order, we have Yana Dovzan, but look at this. Danny Ko, he started from P16 and got into P4, so that's an amazing job from him. Looking really good for him. Going down in order, we have Fast for P5, Raven P6, P7 for Matias de Cunel. He crashed, unfortunately, going to the last lap. KFD Kevin, Zelenkovic for the other Ferrari driver, and their Days Rumbas, the top 10 scorer. Going down in order, we have Bugger Off, Red Talks, Jan Topkov, Moldovan, the AM, FedEx, Bushy Ants, Rar, Santiago, and Spiz, the top last 3 drivers DNFing, unfortunately.
Fantastic race, as we'll come back up to the commentary box ever so in a second. Oh, hello. There I am. Hello. What a race. I think I'm going to need to lie down after that one. But I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, dear viewers, and I'll be honest with you too here, so okay? Coming into the commentary box, I felt very tired. I felt very ill. And I wasn't sure how I would be. That has perked me up massively. And I feel like I could go run a marathon now. What a beautiful race.
That sounds good. Yeah, we had a lot of fun watching the race, to be honest. There wasn't a lot of action going to the middle race, but we definitely saw a lot of action with qualifying and beginning of the race, as well as the late. That was my favorite. That was a cherry on top for the race, especially the last, the P1 and P2. Those drivers fighting it hard on the last lap. I love this so much. This is what I like to see. This is what PSGL brings to you guys.
No rain, but we didn't need it. We absolutely did not need that. That was perfect in every simple way. Not sure if we've got any driver interviews. I'm keeping an eye out, because if we do, I will drag them in. But no one's standing by at the moment. And we've only got the brilliant King Kudrak is on the F2 commentary at the moment, so no one's hopping in. So we'll answer any questions you've got in the YouTube chat in the next couple of minutes. Let's talk about the championship then. Bad day for Bogdan Moldovan. In fact, let's take a look at the standings before the race. You saw that he was leading the way by just 3 points to Duzvan, and it has dramatically changed the way everything stands now, because after this race now for round 4, we see Napadavinsky, who's only 12 points back, now accelerating that gap. Danny hasn't got many, so the gap now at the top has closed to, what, 3 or 4 points between the top 6? That's insane.
Yeah, the standings are getting really close, and we're going to the next race of Hungary, where this track, this is doubt. This is called the Monaco, but without the walls, as they doubt it. So we're gonna definitely see some more action there. I'm excited for the next race. It's definitely gonna bring in some interesting throw-ins for the championship. We're gonna see a rabbit in the hat, as they call it. So I can't wait to see what will happen for the next race.
Absolutely, and just 7 days to wait until the next race gets underway. You can take a quick look at the calendar. I'm sorry, I'm making you do all the work here.
No worries,
on the streaming decks. But this is the calendar, so that's 4 down. Portugal, Britain, Monaco, and France, all consigned to the history books. Hungary coming up next, as we say. Austria, that's going to be another fantastic race. It's a short track racing. It's always fun. Saudi Arabia, that's going to be insane. I can't wait for that. If the F1 race was anything to go by, the esport version is going to be even better. Belgium, let's hope it doesn't rain. Netherlands as well. Hopefully it's a lot better on esports. In other leagues I've covered, it's certainly an exciting race. In fact, in the last race I covered in esports at the Netherlands as well, half the field retired due to accidents at the safety car restart. So that's one to watch on the last weekend of March, beginning of April. Sao Paulo, always exciting. Mexico too, Singapore, another exciting, challenging track as well that really tests the drivers and commentators. It's a full hour of commentating that one. even at 50% race distance, numerous safety cars. America at Austin, going to be another great relaxing track for many of us, but it's so much fun to drive. Imola, well, we all know Imola, it's completely crazy every time we go there. Bahrain as well, a nice season finale, and it's again going to be under the lights, which is going to look fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm keeping my eye out for Saudi Arabia. I've seen a lot of league races. It's a new track, thin walls. Everyone is we're definitely gonna see a lot of action there, as well as Hungary. I can't wait for that. So, if there's any drivers in the interview voice chat,
none at all, which means they're either off celebrating or they didn't know it existed, which is interesting. But if we come back up to Comcamp, I'll get your final thoughts on this crazy race. I want you to give me, Psycho, your moment of the race and your driver of the day, please.
well, the moment of my race, I'm definitely gonna be the last lap. Yeah, there was a lot of overtaking there. Main focus on was P1 and P2. They were just battling out for the last positions. P3, he wasn't in contention for the lead, so he didn't really have a chance there. But P1 and P2, they were going at it like there was no tomorrow, especially last turn. That really caught my eye. I really like that. As well as the driver of the day, the P5 runner-up. I believe he started P16 in the grids. So,
yes.
Amazing performance with him. He played his strategy right. He kept his car into the track. He didn't do anything. No penalties at all. So, my driver today goes to him.
Raven, yeah. Raven Dan and KATF phase as well up there. Final run through of the results. Napa Davinsky taking victory. Peso second. Duzvan third. Danny fourth. Phase fifth. Raven sixth. Mateusz Kanali seventh. KTF Kevin is 8th, Zelenkiewicz is in P9, and Days Rhombus gets the last point, bugger off 11th. Red Tox is 12th, Tripkov 13th, Moldovan fought back to 14th. The AM 15th, Bushian's retired. FedEx was so far back, he's actually in 17th in between the runners of retirements. Raul retired, Santiago retired, and Spies retired as well, the 20 runners as well. 27 laps, it came down to 0.015 at the line. Napa Davinsky is the first driver this season to do the double, and he's done it on the French coast as well. Monaco and Port-Ricard is done. Next up, it's over to Hungary. A very old school track, as you said, Psycho. Monaco without the barriers. Thanks so much for your company tonight. There's still some racing going on here at PSGL, so go and take a look. But from us all here, good night to you all.
Thank you very much, guys. See you later.